Hello there everyone and welcome to Enjoy Life Layering Guide video. So first off, I've stamped both of the images from the Enjoy Life stamp set. I have the first stencil and these are for the beautiful lily shaped flowers that you can see on the right hand side here. So I'm just going to line up the first petal cluster that we have on the stencil, and for this one here I am going to be using the Puffy Heart ink to add the beautiful pink colour through the stencil there. I'm just going to twist that stencil round slightly and then pop that into place over the other petals that we have on this little floral cluster. And for this one here I will be using the purple wine ink to add in the colour through the stencil. I'm trying to add more of the colour to the base of the petals rather than the tips to get a beautiful gradient effect there. So once that has been done, I'm happy with the amount of colour that I have. I'm then going to turn that stencil around again, and this time I'm going to line up the leaves at the bottom. So these little leaves that you can see just at the bottom with the stems there. I'm going to be using the Shadow Creek ink just to add the ink through these ones and add the colour to the leaves and stems. Again, as before, trying to add that colour mostly to the base of these leaves here. I'm just going to move that stencil up and around slightly, add it into place onto the other leaves and add the same colour through the stencil to those leaves there. Once that's done, we do have the little stamen pieces on this stencil too, so I'm just going to pop those into place, and I am going to use the Marigold ink just to add a beautiful orange colour through the stencil to the flower stamen. Once that's done, I'm then going to move on to the second stencil, and this is going to enable us to add some second layers to these beautiful flowers here. So for this one here, I am going to be using the Cosmic Berry. I'm just going to line those up within the centers of each of the petals and then add that ink through there. Move that stencil over slightly and add this into place for the other petals, and I'm going to go again with the Cosmic Berry ink for those ones too. Once that's done, I can move the stencil over, and this is going to enable us to add the second layers to both sets of those little leaves there. And I am going to be using the Mountain Pine ink to add the last layer to these flowers over here. So once I'm happy with the amount of ink I have there, that is that flower cluster nicely completed, I can move on to the second one that we have over on the left hand side. So I'm just going to line up this top flower and the little bud again on the second stencil there. And for these ones I am going to be using the Wisteria ink to add the ink through to those images. So I am using a mini ink blending tool for this, but you could use whichever ink blending tool you do find works best for you. It's completely your preference there. So once I have added the base layers to those ones there, I'm then going to move on to the third stencil, and this is going to allow us to add the base layer to the bottom flower and also the little rolled flower bud at the bottom. I'm going to use the same colour as before, so I'm using the Wisteria to add that beautiful purple colour there. I'm then going to move that stencil around slightly just to add in like the jigsaw piece on this top flower, and for this one I am going to be using the Hydrangea to add in the rest of the colour to that little bud. I'm just going to move the whole stencil around slightly and then add the second layer into place onto these flowers here, and I'm going to be adding that second layer through using the Hydrangea ink like I did for the one above it. Once that's done, I'm going to move the stencil around and then add the leaves into place. So this is going to line up with all of the leaves that we have on this flower cluster. For this one, I will be using the Shadow Creek ink again. So I'm just going to add this to the leaves and stems, trying to concentrate mostly on the base of the petal, leaf, rather than the tip. So once that has been done, I can then move that over slightly, and this is just going to add a darker shade to each of the center of those little leaves that you can see, and I am going to be using the Mountain Pine ink to add that in. I'm just going to move the stencil over again, and this is going to be just adding in the little flower centers using the Marigold ink. And that is all the layering complete. We really do hope this video helps. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye.